Up on the board, I have a collection of all the cooking methods that we've learned so far that you've done in the kitchen, okay? This method I'm gonna show you is called, Jesse. What's the word I was so impressed with?
Poaching? Oh, no, sorry. Braising.
Braising, yes. Actually, I bragged on you today because, do you know Joselinda Camacho?
Yeah, Josie.
Josie, yes. She's like, because I said something about, I don't remember what I was talking about, but one of my second year students was like, I bet it's the kid that sits in that seat. And I was like, Jesse Fields? I was like, he's pretty awesome. He knew what braise was. And Josie's like, I know him. He's a really nice guy. I was like, don't ever tell him. I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I keep
Who was
seeing
the
orange.
kid that said the kid that sits here?
Jaden.
Jaden?
Yeah, it wasn't an insult to you.
What's
Jaden,
the last
go
name?
more.
More.
Anyway, okay, but we're gonna learn how to braise. Braising is a combination cooking method. So, Reese. What do you think a combination cooking method, what do you think that means?
You use dry cooking method and a wet cooking method.
Very good. So we're gonna make a braised chicken thigh. And next week, you are going to have a test in the lab, okay? And I'm gonna test your skills. And one of the things I'm gonna have you do as part of your lab test is I'm going to show you, or make you show me, excuse me, how you make mirepoix vegetables, all right? And mirepoix is a combination of what?
Mirepoix.
Joke's on you, no it's not. What is it?
It's carrot, celery, onions.
It's carrot, celery, and onions, yes. What is the percentage, Jessica, of carrots to celery to onions?
Isn't it one onion to, I know, sorry, 25%? Sure.
Is your name Jessica?
50%, isn't it 50% onion, 25%, 25% celery?
That is correct. This is a solid, a valid, is that what it is? Valid carrot.
Valid so much, that is valid.
Exactly.
He be like, that's valid, Miss Applegate.
Hey, I only heard him say one thing was valid, and that was my mushrooms.
Those
They
are
were
some
kind of
valid
valid, though,
mushrooms.
right? Yeah, they were kind of valid. Oh, God, thank you.
Okay, stop saying valid.
Johnny, that's my thing.
Okay, so I'm just chopping up my mirepoix. So when you guys are in the lab next week and you're doing your mise en place, you guys are gonna have to make me some mirepoix vegetables. All right? So you're gonna show me your cutting board. And you're gonna show me how you diced your carrot, celery, and onion. And why is it important that we're dicing these?
So we're not writing straight celery.
No, not that. What do you think the reason that we're dicing everything the same is? So what? So it cooks evenly, right? Same size, same length of time to cook. This is really weird, like cooking from up here. I almost feel like I should sit down and do this. I just feel like really tall, and I never feel that way in my life, so. Is this how you feel every day, Dustin?
Yeah.
Dustin and Alex?
Even perfect for me.
I have to reach my arms all the way down to like reach stuff on my table.
Not me. I feel too tall for this. I'm not used to this.
For the first time.
I like that. Okay, so here's my mirepoix. And I'm not gonna use all this mirepoix, but I cut it up to kind of show you. Oh, clove down!
Why'd you go close down?
Clove down.
Oh.
One of my cloves just jumped off an ledge, okay?
It was homicide.
It didn't want to be part of this. It opted out.
Abigail, you kill the clove.
Huh?
Kill the clove.
He jumped off himself.
Kill him. Homicide. In courts, it's homicide.
Clovicide. Wouldn't it be clovicide? Okay. So, the first part of this combination cooking method is searing, okay? So, to sear, you have to have a super hot pan. So this will not take long. And I'm going to just, for the love of all that is holy and pure, that's a lot of butter and flour. I'm just gonna set my little prep over here. Are we still listening? Are we having sidebar conversations about fruit snacks? I've got my chicken. That's how Evie used to say when she was little.
Chicken.
She'd say, I want some more chicken. But she wasn't British.
What'd you do? British accent?
I don't know. So I'm gonna take my thighs, give a little shimmy shake shake, and, oh, this is so gross. I'm gonna have to wash really well tonight. Well, after this. Here's my little chicken thighs. My waste bowl. Okay. And I'm gonna season with some salt and pepper. Pepper. All right. And I seasoned my side that I'm gonna put in my pan first down. In goes my butter. I'm putting a lot of butter in because they didn't get me any oil and I want a lot of butter, okay? So my butter's starting to sizzle. I'm gonna take my chicken thigh. Round of applause in the pan, right? That shows me my pan's hot enough. Take my other chicken thigh. Bada bing, bada boom. See it? And hear it, right? Now I season my other side. Pepper. Salt. Are we paying attention? All right. Would somebody grab me a couple paper towels from up front? You can already hear it getting all happy in my pan. And do you see how you can already see the color changing? Get a close look at that. On the bottom, it's starting to cook. So I'm gonna let it sit. My butter's starting to brown, so thank you, Sit Lolly. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then Sit Lolly, I have a pan, I should have some green spray in that left cabinet at the bottom. So now I'm gonna turn my flame down because I'm gonna flip, all right? Brown coloring. See the color change? Now this has a lot of butter in it. So the butter gets really hot. It also flavors the chicken as it's cooking. But I'm gonna allow this to sit here. And then I'm gonna move on as soon as I'm done with this side. Because I'm not fully cooking it right now. They're not in there? That's fine. I'll just spray this off with the germicide back there after I'm done. I'm gonna let this hang out for a little bit. And now, I'm gonna take my chicken off and I'm gonna let it rest over here. Now this is not done cooking, all right? I have a lot of butter in my pan, so I'm going to pour out a little bit of this hot liquid in here because I don't want all that. But do you guys see the bottom of the pan? You see all those brown bits? Remember what that's called?
Flavor.
What's it called? Who said it?
Extra food fond.
The fond, exactly. This is the fond. This is where all the bits are. Now be careful here, okay? My pan's extremely hot and it's really hard to control on these burners. It really has like 2 settings. Completely crazy hot or I turned off. Okay, I'm gonna let this cool just a little bit because my pan's really, really hot. Vladimir, what happens?
Fire.
Exactly. But I'm gonna do something called deglazing my pan, okay? Slowly, I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. Okay? This is the beginning of the making of the pan sauce. I added my chicken stock. I'm gonna take my whisk. And you see how much I added in? It's already evaporating off because my pan's hot. But I'm taking my whisk and I'm getting all those brown bits. Do you see all the brown bits are now in my stock, okay? So nobody wants just a little bit of bits. They're gonna want a sauce. So when you make a pan sauce, you start by deglazing the pan. Now I'm adding my fat. And I'm going to add my flour. Equal parts fat and flour, boys and girls. What's that called? A roux. And it is a thickener. When we start our mother sauces, the first sauce you're going to make is bechamel. Bechamel is a white sauce with a white roux and milk. So here I am, I'm making pretty much like a paste. And look how deep in color that is. That's not because that is not due to the fact that I've let my roux brown. It's because I have so much flavor right there. So now what am I gonna do? I don't wanna eat that, so I'm gonna stir this in. Whew. Well, for a lady that had 12 vertebrae broken in her back, standing in like this like isometric contraction of being stable, that's rough. Now, if you add cream or something like that, you gotta be careful because your sauce can break. So you always start with something like chicken stock. And if I wanted a creamy sauce, then I would probably add my cream or milk at this point. But here, with adding chicken stock, I'm actually making velouté sauce, which is another one of the 5 mother sauces. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of this. And now my sauce has been flavored with the fond, with the salt and pepper that's come off my chicken. It's important to season it every step of the way because that really builds the flavor. All right. Now I'm gonna season it even more by adding some fresh aromatics. I'm just gonna throw my thyme right in here. And I'm gonna throw my rosemary right in here. And then I'm gonna take my garlic bulbs, throw that in there. Take this garlic bulb. Throw that in there. Then I'm gonna take some of my mirepoix and I'm gonna add that in there. Okay? Now you're gonna say, but Miss Applegate, you're gonna eat this? I thought you hated onions, right? I'm gonna strain it. So all of the solids, just like when we strained our stock, all of the solids are gonna stay behind and I'm just gonna have the liquid. But this now, this beautifully seasoned, add a little bit of salt. Remember laying, that was pepper. And salt, layering it on every step of the way. Watching it, whisking it around just to get all those back together. This now becomes my poaching liquid. So here's step 2 of a braise. Now, I poach it in here to finish cooking it off. All right? And I'm gonna let that marry and simmer for a while until my chicken's done. I can do it here with a lid on it. I can do it here and let it evaporate off. That doesn't really matter. Or you can put this whole thing without this rubber part in the oven. And that's your combination cooking method. I seared it. I made a pan sauce that became my poaching liquid. It's my second cooking method. Dry cooking method is the sear. Poaching it to finish it off is the wet cooking method. Combination cooking method. Stewing is just like this, except with stewing, it's in bite-sized pieces. All right? The reason I'm not having you guys do this is because chicken thighs in a mushroom pan sauce is a skill for Skills USA. That's one of the recipes that you have to make. So we will practice this in class. And when I make you take your semester final, it's chicken thighs with mushroom pan sauce. That's your final. So you get to work on your braising. But we will braise a lot of things in class, okay? So I'm just gonna let this simmer and hang out for a while. And then when we get back, we will taste test, okay?